girl. Hey.
Hey girl, hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, welcome to Chat Off the Mat, everyone. Jennifer Aish and I am Rose Whippich. We're here to share some wisdom for all of you. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about when we feel stuck in energy, maybe stuck physically, and what we do to move through that feeling. So I want to start off by asking Jen. So Jen, do you ever
Me?
feel, hey, do you ever feel, and I know the answer to this, do you ever feel when maybe, your energy doesn't feel right or you feel you can't move through something, you're just feeling that feeling of being stuck.
Oh yes, like stuck in the mud.
Yeah, stuck
Your
in the
brain's
mud.
stuck in the mud. You're
Yep.
just like, what's going on? Yes, absolutely.
And when you feel that, like, what are you feeling? Give me some ideas on, describing the quality of that feeling.
Well, since you've kindly asked me, Miss Rose, when I feel stuck, I try. When I feel stuck, okay, so the feelings around it is I tend to feel cloudy in my mind and just a little bit um, confused how I feel emotionally. I think that's a big tenet around feeling stuck because I'm feeling a little bit confused maybe of my thoughts and feelings. So I can feel resistance. Um, and sometimes I also don't really trust my instincts as much, and I tend to struggle with maintaining routines, especially routines that I've developed that really make me feel great. I would say those are probably really big things that happen with me when I feel stuck. How about you?
But I feel a lot of the similar things. What I feel though mostly is anxiety. I feel very overwhelmed,
Oh yeah.
and then I get that feeling of being anxious, and then I feel tired because my adrenals are working overtime. I feel like I want to sleep for a couple days. So there's no in between. It's either I'm up here or I'm down here. And then
Yeah.
I also feel, I was thinking about this, and what came to my mind visually is when I'm in traffic, I hate traffic. If I could take my car and roll it over other cars, I would. But when I'm in traffic, I get very anxious, and I need to move out of the way. So I got that feeling. That's how I feel. I feel like that in my body.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really sometimes really heavy. So that lethargy feels really heavy in the physical aspect of it. And I was going to ask you the same thing. Like when you're feeling these things and this cloudiness and lack of clarity or this resistance, how does it feel physically to you?
Yeah, I feel tired as well. I do, and I think that's why maybe it's harder for me to get in to stay into my routines. I do. I feel I can relate to that very much. So I tend to sleep in later when I'm
Mm,
feeling stuck. That's a
yeah.
big one, and I'm an early riser, and I mean, for me, like sleeping in is probably like 7:30.
Yeah. You get up early. As
I
do I,
know.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. We're always able to connect. You'd be like, I hope I'm not texting you too early. And it'll be 6 a.m. my time. I'm like, no,
Well,
I'm up, girl.
I guess that's good, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so even if you do sleep, you can wake up feeling that heaviness, that heavy energy. Um,
And then I wake up a lot during the night as
yeah,
well.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't rest your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So even though you're stuck, your mind may still be racing. And I was going to say that, sometimes I get distracted because I'm not focused. And I think a lot has to do with that clarity that that feeling
Mm-hmm.
confused or cloudy.
Yeah.
The other thing I feel physically is my joints. I feel it in my joints. I feel stiffness in my shoulders and my hips. And before I started the energy work, and you may also relate to this, Jennifer, before I understood that energy moves through the body, and when it's stagnant, it doesn't. You get stiff joints. now I know, oh, I have a stiff, my back hurts or my shoulders hurt. There's that stagnancy. Something is stuck inside and I'm feeling it physically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
we have.
yeah.
So just tuning in, I think,
Hmm.
talking about what you're feeling and being aware of it. And it's not just emotional or mental, that there's this physical sensation that goes along with it.
Hmm.
That's huge.
The
And
physical's related to the emotion.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm
The
sure there's a lot of people out there that, hopefully
mhm.
listening and that don't feel stuck all the time. But, now they're saying, oh, yeah, that's why, maybe that's what I'm feeling. You don't really know you're feeling stuck, but you can sense all these physical and emotional uh, qualities
So
associated with that.
when you feel stuck, what is something that you do to identify it,
Well, I know right
or
away.
where it's coming from?
Well, okay. So I want
Yeah.
to, I first want to, those are great questions.
Yeah.
And the way I want to approach it is when I'm feeling stuck, I'm usually feeling stuck creatively.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to move forward with something maybe we're working on
Yeah.
maybe podcast notes or thoughts, and I'm just stuck. So
Hmm.
that's like creatively, I can't move forward with something. Sometimes I may feel stuck emotionally in my heart, where just not feeling the love or feeling like I want to extend that. That's feeling stuck in my heart space, and I have to tune into why that's happening. Um, those are probably the two main ones for me.
Yeah.
And I'll focus on the creative part, but just recognizing it. I know that there's something happening, and I can't create. One thing I do is I try hard not to think about it. I'll just put it aside and not overthink. My new mantra this year is just not to overthink.
Right.
I think once I overthink, that's when I get stuck. It's like too
Yeah.
many cars going in that tunnel and
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
get through the traffic. And that's what
Yeah.
happens. That's what makes me
And just so listeners know,
feel stuck.
she's referring to the Lincoln Tunnel. I'm just
Yeah, I'm
kidding.
referring to the Lincoln Tunnel or the Holland Tunnel,
Yeah.
any of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tuning into where it feels in my body also, like
Mhm.
if it's creative, I know that if I'm having like stomach issues or it's very tender in that, lower in the lower area in the dantian by the belly button, if I'm feeling it there or even in my lower back, I know that there's some issues with creativity there.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then you asked me, what do I do to move through it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
besides giving myself space,
Yeah.
um, in the morning now, what I've been doing, and it's really, really helping me, is I do not look at my phone or my computer
Mm.
first thing. I get a cup of coffee, which I need
Mhm.
to. I get a book that I'm reading or my journal. And just by reading a few pages in a book that I'm interested in, instead of waiting at night to read it and then fall asleep, I absorb it more, I understand it more, and then it gets my creative juices going. And my notebook is right there, and just I start writing ideas and thoughts, and just it just things start to flow. I feel more of like this clarity and this channeling of energy. So that small change in my routine has really opened up a lot for
That's
me.
that's something that I've adopted over the past year, not calendar year, but or since
This
like
past year,
January.
yeah,
Yeah, this past year, is reading in the morning with my coffee too. 5 to 30 minutes. I mean,
I love
it's
it,
one. Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
And I
love it
find that
too.
I'm going through reading the books a lot better than trying
Mm-hmm.
to
Oh yeah.
read it at night when I'm tired, and then I
Mm-hmm.
basically fall asleep and
Yeah.
I can't see, and
And then you're
so
rereading stuff 20
oh my
times.
god, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right on.
And you're just like,
My god,
I just read this
what did I
page. Why
say?
am I
Yeah,
reading it again?
exactly. So that I'm glad to hear that you've been doing that. And tell us about some of the other.
Well, for me, like, and you were talking about emotional, and I really do feel like when I'm being stuck, like I said before, a lot of times I'm feeling resistant and I try to consider why I'm feeling stuck, because a lot of times it's emotional for me. So I'm wondering, like, what emotions are around the energy? Like, am I afraid of something? I reflect on things. Am I afraid of something? Am I angry or upset about something? Do I have a wounded ego? I mean, gosh, how many times has your ego been wounded and it just makes you like, you're in that constant repeat of trying to analyze that one, because maybe I disagreed with somebody about something. I can't quite wrap my mind around it. Maybe holding on to something, which maybe that would be like, do I keep pondering something about the past? Am I worried? You were talking about the traffic and being worried in traffic. So this tends to be something we think about that hasn't happened yet. Or maybe I'm grieving something and do I need to let something go? And I like that you brought up the morning thing, because also journaling, these are kind of questions that I'm like, okay, I'm feeling stuck. What emotions wrapped around that?
Mm.
And then it's usually because I haven't sorted something out. So I'm trying to get to that root of what it is I haven't sorted.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm
Yeah.
listening to you, and I do the same thing. Sometimes I tune into where I feel it in the body, and that lets me know the sometimes if it's fear, which I know that's probably my number one, and worry because of the kids. When you have kids, you just worry about everything, I think. Um, and I tune into that area. So when I'm doing any kind of healing, I focus on where to heal. Um, so yeah, tuning into those emotions and how we're feeling is an indication of how we can then become unstuck. So what else do you do to help yourself once you identify maybe a particular emotion that is preventing you from moving forward in a particular area, and whatever that is, it can just be general. What do you, well, no, how do you heal yourself? How do you take care of yourself then?
Well, I do a lot of, you had brought up giving space. And so I do try to give myself some space. And listeners, I apologize. The people are next door mowing their lawn all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
it's okay. Life goes on.
Yeah, I know. Life goes on. But if you can hear that, I apologize to everyone. So I try to make some time to be still and just listen more deeply to my soul, and try to dig deep into that, and give myself space for contemplation. I try to find some connections with what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling as well, to see if that's interconnected. Journaling, I through journaling too, also I try to put myself in the space of like giving myself some kindness. So what would I say, like, what would I say to you, Rose, if you came to me with those thoughts and feelings? How would I advise you? I try to give myself some compassion. I find it difficult to be self-compassionate. It's kind of like when I'm going through something, I'll be my harshest critic, but then to everybody else I'm like, oh, I'm so caring and kind. So I do try to like do a note to self, you're deserving of kindness and all
Right.
that. Not that being stuck is always a tragic thing. I mean, it could be just like allergies or weather or something that can make you stuck as well. But and yeah, just some routines, just you know doing some routines and trying to stick to routines that I've established for morning and evening, just so I continue to put one foot ahead of the other. Those are all helpful for me.
Yeah, you're very good at those routines, and I've learned, I guess, from working with you, how
Mm-hmm.
important it is to have those routines. Uh, it's part of
Yeah.
our energy that we need to have things in a container so that
Mm-hmm.
not we're not distracted. Like somebody told me, we have monkey minds, or our minds are like a squirrel, right? Here,
Yeah.
go over here and go over here, and I find myself more distracted when I am feeling stuck. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I noticed, and I noticed that I, I'm I put a lot of pressure on myself
Mm-hmm.
when I'm feeling stuck. Like I have to, before I started giving myself space, but right before I feel stuck, I feel that I have a lot of pressure. I'm overthinking things. I'm too harsh on myself. Um, Too many things going on. and then I shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that there's more of an awareness of that now as well. I want to talk about self-compassion for a moment. I think that was
Yeah.
a great thing that you brought up.
Thank you.
It takes work
Yeah.
to be self-compassionate. We If somebody comes to us, and we're healers, Jen is a healer, I'm a healer, we're Reiki masters, yoga teachers, Qigong instructors, we're healers through and through. If somebody comes to us and says, we need help, can you help me, we're there. We know what to say. We know what to say to our best friends. Jen is always helping me, and I'm hoping I help Jen.
You
But
do.
what thank you.
Yep.
But then those same kind words that we tell someone else, we need to tell ourselves. I recently finished a book on self-compassion, loved the book. I want to dive deeper into that, because when I'm having a hard time now, I say, you know what, it's okay. And just that phrase alone calms me and tells me that it's okay. What I'm going through, what I'm feeling is all right, and it'll pass. And self-compassion is something that I know the Dalai Lama preaches, and Buddhist monks, and we should all take time to be compassionate towards ourselves first. So I just want to elaborate a little bit more on what Jen said about self-compassion. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, and I love that you said all that as well, because it made me think that a lot of times when people are not compassionate towards others, they're not compassionate with themselves, and it echoes out into their relationships.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, everything, I say it begins within. Everything starts with us, with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so be kind and gentle to yourself. And if you are feeling stuck, it's okay. It's just part of the process. It's uh, being aware that you're feeling like that is like the first step
Yeah.
amongst the many steps to pause and give yourself time and rest and restore, so that you can create that space within, and then move forward once again. That traffic, you're on the road and there's traffic, and then all of a sudden it opens up and you're like, how did they but I don't see why
Yeah.
the traffic slowed down to begin with.
Oh, I know, right?
Right.
Those darn rubberneckers.
And there's nothing to rubberneck, so who knows. Or neck
It
rubber, who
cleared
knows.
up.
It
Yeah.
cleared up.
Yeah.
um I want to ask Jen too. We're both
Yeah.
Reiki masters, and I wanted to ask Jen, do you ever use Reiki on yourself?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, and I use it a lot too, even after a nice Qigong practice when I've got my energy all flowing and clean and clear. And yeah, I like Reiki. I mean, even if I just have only time to do a meditation, I'll sit and do like a Reiki meditation and then do some self Reiki. I mean, honestly, like even just doing it a few minutes a day is enough.
Yeah. And just to define or talk about Reiki. Reiki
Mm-hmm.
is a practice that is performed by Reiki practitioners. It's a healing practice that creates very deep relaxation in a patient or someone that is having Reiki done onto. And as Reiki practitioners, we can do Reiki to ourselves. It's the first thing that we are taught, so that we move that energy, unblock the stagnant energy, the energy that is not moving within our bodies, really deep in the body. Qigong does that from a physical level. We move the body physically, but Reiki is more either hands on or hands off, and there is also distance Reiki, which Jen and I can perform. And I know noticed lately I've been having a lot of patients come to me, and they feel also stuck in their energy and need help to move that energy. And when you unblock that or move the energies in the chakra systems or the meridian systems, then they can open up those channels to move forward and get more clarity. And yeah, when I do the same thing, Reiki on myself. It depends on what I'm feeling, even just bringing my hands to my heart space where it all begins.
Mm-hmm.
Few moments, it just does a world of good. I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, I love Reiki
Yeah,
too.
it's such a great
Mm-hmm.
great tool.
Oh yeah.
you know.
I've had people fall asleep on me.
Yeah.
Have you?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And it can be very life changing for some
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
People that have never had that experience receiving Reiki, it's life changing. I know it was for me when I first received my first Reiki treatment or healing 30 years ago, I guess, or 25, yeah, about 30 years, 25 years ago, and nobody knew what Reiki was, and I'm like, I'm gonna try it. I heard it's pretty cool, and it was, and I loved it, and then became a Reiki practitioner and master myself, and now I can, and just like Jen, we can share that experience with others, teach others to become practitioners, help heal others on different levels. And it's nice. It's a really great practice. So
Yeah, that's a great point.
yeah,
Thanks for bringing that up too.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, we
Yeah.
have Qigong and we have
Yeah.
yoga, any physical activity that you can do to, um, I guess, distract you from your thoughts or your or whatever else that is whatever else
Help
that's
you
going
move and
on in
clear
your
your
life.
energy.
Clear
Yeah.
your energy, move it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because sometimes, feeling stuck could be just as deep as you're feeling a creative block. And then, I would say, Rose, that, there's different levels of feeling stuck, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so just I think identifying it. So like Rose was saying with the creativity thing, sometimes just given space. Sometimes I find that I get creative, like when you were saying about like writing stuff like blogs and stuff like that. Like
Mm.
even if I just come into my office space and just organize things and put things away and put them in the right place, because sometimes I'll pile up stuff a little bit and it needs to go somewhere. Just doing that act of organizing my actual
Yes.
physical space.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
And then I'm like, oh, and I'll come across things. Oh yeah. And then, so that helps me
Yeah.
creatively a lot. And
You know
you
what
know,
helps me? Cleaning the house.
cleaning the house.
No,
Yeah.
because it's the only thing I'm just like focused on. It's very
Hmm.
mindful. And then all of a sudden I get this flash of a phrase will come or like an idea. I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna write that down.
Yeah.
So something is mindless, but it's not mindless because you're really focusing on it. You're just not worried about anything else. You're just cleaning your desk,
Yeah.
organizing, making everything look nice. I'm cleaning the house, I'm making the beds, doing the laundry, just that day-to-day stuff, just moving
Absolutely.
and being mindful of what's going on can create that space also. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I was thinking music, nice, relaxing music. So, what you're listening to can affect you emotionally. What you're looking at can affect you emotionally. So, taking care of the eyes and ears as
Mm.
senses can really be important stimuli for you. Being in nature, connecting with trees and flowers, phoning a friend, go do something fun and
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
So,
all great points. Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, Rose, was there anything else you wanted to add for this?
Um, No, I think that's I'm looking at my notes, want to make sure I hit all the points that I wanted to. Yeah, I think that's we've covered a lot for people and hoping that what we've mentioned will help feel people move through any of these feelings
Mm-hmm.
that may come up.
Yeah.
First, identifying, right, noticing what's happening to you,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a feeling like frustration or fear or worry or grief, and then tuning into like where you're feeling it and what's happening, and then doing something about it or not.
Having compassion and giving
Yeah,
yourself space, meeting yourself with
right.
kindness. Another thing I wanted to say too, actually, I just glanced and saw that is it seasonal transitions, and we talk about this in our spring wellness episode. So if you guys didn't listen to that, go check it out. And also the spring equinox, we talk when you're in seasonal changes, just naturally can start to just feel stuck between
Absolutely.
seasons. Yeah, so it could
It,
be just weather.
I know I've said that to you the other day. I'm like, I
Yeah.
think it's this transition from the season. I was feeling I was tired, and I was just very, very tired. And I think it was that feeling of the seasonal change to
Yeah.
spring. And
Yeah,
also
absolutely.
energy of the moon can help, and you know, anything
Mm-hmm.
else the body's going through.
Oh yeah,
So just
absolutely.
honoring all that.
Yeah, and it's just part of your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just
So,
listen to your soul.
and know you're not alone out there. And please don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're feeling stuck in any area, don't be hard on yourself. Just say it's okay. Give yourself that grace and just, hey, it's good. We're good. Call a friend, like Jen said, and forget about it for a while.
Phone a friend for
Phone a
that
friend.
$1 million question.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, this has been great. And always, like Rose and I are here. Email us with a question. Like if you're like, hey, I'm feeling XYZ, maybe we can give you a little bit of insight about it. When we're talking about Rose and I were talking about even the different emotions and stuff like that, we can probably help you. And Rose was talking about different parts of the body that are feeling sore. We can help you maybe identify even the meridian that it's associated
Absolutely.
with. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And Jen and I offer on our websites, you can check our personal websites, which will
mhm.
be in the show notes. We both offer Reiki, distant Reiki,
Yeah.
for anyone. And I, like I said, more and more people are coming out exploring it first time. After going through COVID, a lot of people are feeling, oh my God, all kinds of things. And we can
Tired.
help. Yeah, tired, lack of
Mhm.
clarity, lack of
Mhm.
focus, feeling stuck, feeling grief, so many things that we
Mhm.
can help with. So check out our websites for that as well. And we'll put
Yeah.
all that in the show notes.
Yay. I love
Yay.
it.
So yeah, so thank you all for listening, for tuning in to our episode today. Check out our previous episodes and please share with your friends. Get it out there. Have somebody, just say, hey, have a listen. This chat off the mat, or maybe something you can take away and brighten your day with. So thank you for joining us today. I'm Rose Whippich.
And I'm Jennifer H. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a beautiful day.
We want to thank you for joining us today. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to our websites and social media platforms, and to send us any email with questions or comments. We look forward to connecting with you again for some more chat off the mat.